of Fundamentals of Programming. Today is day 2. Today we are going to learn about basics of programming language. My name is Jagriti Srivastav. So welcome back again. So in case of programming language, first let's understand about variables and data type. What is a variable? So variable are those named storage location which is used to hold any data, and data types are the values which define the type of the data which are being stored in a variable. So for example, let's say contact in your phone, there will be a name called mom, and inside that mom there will be a number associated, your mother's phone number. So in that case, mom is the variable name and the phone number is the data. So the phone number will be in the format of plus something and number. So that consists of certain numeric value as well as arithmetic value. So we can say that is a kind of a string value. So in this case, data type of that contact number will be string, and mom will be the variable name. Maybe if the phone number will be changed, then the value of that variable will be changed. So normally in case of programming language, we have multiple types of data types. These are some common data types like integer, int, float in small letter float, character, string, boolean. So what is integer? The value, the integer, the numeric value which is fixed and which doesn't have any kind of decimal is called integer. Float are all those decimal numbers, and characters are alphabets, and string like first name, second name, last name, middle name, address, phone number. These are all the string values. Next is boolean. So anything that is true and false is string. Next is we have keywords and identifiers. So keywords are those words which are reserved for a special meaning. Like if in case of any programming language, we have certain names, we have certain words which are stored for special tasks like if else, while, do while, scanf, print. These are the words which provides special values, and when we use those words, a specific kind of function will be called. And identifiers are the names used to identify a variable or a function or classes. So when when we are providing any identifier, it must start with a letter or underscore, and yes, it cannot be a keyword. Why? Because if we use any keyword as our identifier, as a name of a variable, then the compiler will get confused, oh, whether that is a variable or that is a keyword. So in that case, the program will provide an error. So it is better not to use keyword as a identifier. And yes, case sensitive in most of the programming languages. Next is constant and literals. So constant, there are so many things that are constant which whose value cannot be changed. Like we have learned in mathematics, the value of a pi, and so many formulas and values they are always same and always constant. Their value cannot be changed. So constant are the values which cannot be changed during the program execution, and literals are those fixed values written directly into the code. Maybe suppose you are using pi, then 3.14 is the value of the pi. That is a numeric, and 10 is also numeric. Maybe you are calling hello. So hello is a special word which is used all over the world as a greeting. And next is true and false, that is also literal, which cannot be changed. Next is as input and output. So whenever we are working in any kind of program or any kind of schedule, we are providing certain kind of input and expecting the output. For example, if want to go we want to go somewhere or book a hotel, then of course we as an output we need some accommodation to stay. Maybe we are visualizing of a beautiful place. So input what we are sending and output what we are getting, it they are both reciprocal. Whatever we provide the input, the output will be based on that. So input is normally taken by the user and to display the output, and it is accept all kinds of data from the user. So for example, there is Facebook, there is Twitter, there is Instagram, and there are so many other social sites. So whenever we are uploading a photo, uploading a status, uploading a video, then of course in return what we get, we get likes, we get comments, we get shares. So those shares, likes, and comments or our digital activity on the internet is an output. And whatever we are providing, our data, our status messages or photos or videos, they are all input. So what happens, all the input will be taken by that software and it will process and it will display as an output, so that other viewers will be able to see, and maybe they will respond according to the given output. So for the other users, that will come as an output, sorry, that will come as an input. So in case of multiple programming languages like Python, C, Java, the process of taking inputs are totally different. In case of Python, you can use input. In case of C programming, you can use scanf. In case of Java, you can use scanner, .next. So every time it displays data to the user. And also we can use as printf, print, and system.out.println for displaying the data. It is not fixed that we will provide only these three types of input and these three types of output to our system. Maybe there are some input forms, HTML forms, and then we will see output as a photo or output as a text box, something like that. There are so many, for example, there are so many application which says resume building application. So whatever you will write your name, phone number, address, skills, education, experience, everything in a box, and in the output you can select a template and you will see your resume out of it. So in this case, in case of resume builder, the values that we are providing will be input and the resume will be the output. So in case of any programming language, input output are the most important thing. And yes, syntax. So whatever we do, there is always a process to follow. If we are learning English language, then of course we will start with ABC, words, verbs, and nouns, pronouns, and then we'll form a sentence, and then we'll present into a paragraph, like that. So there will be a proper process to find out anything. It is not that we can jump directly to a syntax and directly to a word, or directly to a sentence, or directly to a paragraph. We must start with ABCD. Especially we can take example of mathematical calculations. We have certain type of formula to find out solution. In case of algebra, in case of physics or anything, we have certain kind of formula to execute it. In case of chemistry, we have to follow the formula and then we can see the output. Exactly in the same case of programming language, we have it as a syntax. So syntax is a set of rules which defines the program structure. It defines a valid program structure, how the program is going to behave, and what are the most important things we need in this program. For input, I have to use this. For output, I have to use this. For processing, I have to use this. So every time there are different things. Like in the past, what we did for Python, input will be a keyword input will be a keyword, and that behaves as a syntax to get the way data from the user. So syntax are those things which is already defined, and we follow the same for doing anything. So there are certain rules for using variables, writing variables, method, classes, functions. So while declaring variables, we have to use small case, we have to follow snake case letters, and of course while writing statement and expressions, while using in how we can use indentation and braces for variables and function naming and defining class. So while whenever we use certain these certain kind of rules, our program will be totally structured. So once that is totally structured in a well manner, then our program will be error free compilation or interpretation. This is what we learn about programming basics, and now you'll be able to understand why there is error, why, what is this output, input, variable and data types, and keywords should be used. There are some constant and literals, and at the end, so we have to follow certain syntax to do any kind of tasks. So this is all about basics of programming language. Thank you very much.